Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first day of the summer version of Indians in North America, which I've sort of subtitled Contemporary Native America, which will become clear as we go on why I do that. It's ANT 321 S70, so this is a fully online course taking place during summer session C of 2020. What does that mean? That means that we are in first and foremost, a very tight time frame. So I want to make that really clear. Summer session C is really short. We only have a few weeks together, and the course is not really altered in any way from its other formats. So we teach this course in a 5-week version and in a full semester version, and it is the same amount of material every time. So I think I'll sort of say right up front is that you're sort of expected to do roughly a week's in a semester's worth of work per day in this really shortened time frame. So I just want to sort of say that up front. But before we do that, this is a little introductory video just to introduce myself. You'll see a lot of me and hear a lot of me over the next few weeks as you watch a bunch of lectures from me. But this is a chance for me to introduce you in real time, introduce myself in real time. Of course, all the other videos are recorded some time ago, but this is right now. I'm recording this on July 28th, the first day of the course. So you can get a chance to get to know me a little bit, and also just to introduce the course to you a little bit. So what I'm going to do really quickly in this video is, after introducing myself, I'm going to show you the syllabus, which you should be able to see already. I want to show you the rubric or instructions for the one writing assignment you have in this course. Other than one sort of substantial, you have to submit a paper kind of writing assignment you have in the course, and then I'm going to go through Blackboard really quickly and show you sort of structurally how the course actually works, how you actually complete the assignments, and see what you have to do. So here's the syllabus, is what you can see right now. You see some general information about the name of the course information, just to make sure you're sort of in the right place digitally, if you will. There's some information about how you can get a hold of me. So my name's Dr. Farley. I'm a professor in the anthropology department at Southern. I am a permanent faculty member here, which means you can get a hold of me anytime. I'll still be here in the fall and onward. So if you want to continue, taking more courses with me, or talk to me about anything, or you just get interested about something in the future, you can always get back in a hold of me again, as we hopefully get back to sort of normal, a little bit of normalcy in the next semester or two. If you want to get a hold of me right away, the best way to do it right now is really this email address. You can call this phone number too. This is my office phone number. I'm obviously not really in my office often. We're not really supposed to be on campus very often. And so I won't probably answer if you call that number, but if you leave a voicemail there, it will show up in my email, and so I'll be able to hear it. So if you prefer to get a hold of me that way, but really email is a great way. I'll be able to see my email all day, every day. And I'll hopefully be able to get back to you really quickly. If you want to meet with me in a more substantial way, we can either discuss by email or talk on the phone, or we can set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting if you have something really complicated that we have to go through, and I'm happy to do that. So let me know any way you want, and we'll make it work, that we can sort of get a hold of each other. As we scroll through the syllabus, which you can, of course, get on Blackboard anytime, there's some boilerplate language here about plagiarism, academic misconduct, accommodations for disabilities, for if you are already in contact with the DRC on campus. There's a process in place for getting me some information about the things that you need to help you finish the course and do everything in the course, and I'm happy to work with every student to be able to get you where you need to go. If you have a disability that's not yet something you've worked with the school on, rather than reaching out to me directly, the best thing actually to do is to talk to the DRC on campus. This is an office on campus, the Disability Resource Center. They're really great, and they will make sure that everything's done really privately and that all of your rights are protected, but also to get me the information that I need so that I can provide you the support that you need. So this is true for every course. So if you're not already in contact with the DRC and you need those services, this is the link you can follow to get to their website and all kinds of information about how to get a hold of them. In terms of course objectives, I mentioned before, this course has a sort of subtitle. The name of this course, Indians in North America, is a very old-fashioned name, as you might gather. It's not necessarily, well, let's not get into that now. I've sort of subtitled the course, Contemporary Native America. Years ago, this course was taught as a kind of survey course in which you sort of traveled around North America and learned about the different tribes and stuff. And that's not exactly a very relevant way to talk about these kinds of issues anymore. I think a more important course to offer is one on contemporary issues, and that's what this class is. This class focuses on contemporary issues in modern day indigenous North America, with a focus on the United States, but I do occasionally also talk about Canada, Australia, South America, and Central America, oftentimes to show sort of contrast with North America. So we're going to be focused primarily on the United States, the relationship between the United States and tribal groups and Native people, the history of that relationship, the challenges of that relationship, and then contemporary issues today, issues having to do with gender, with race, with politics, with land rights, with religious rights. We'll get into really quite a broad range of topics. And you'll see in a minute that each of the modules, which equates to roughly what a week would be in a semester, is organized by an issue rather than a region or a time period or something like that. But we'll get into those in just a moment. The major assignments and grades for this class. Basically, your grades are broken up into 3 parts, although one of these actually has many parts within it. So let me come back to Blackboard responses because that's really the most important part. But we do have a sort of final examination. This is going to be available pretty much right from the beginning of the course. I'm going to try and get this up today, and you can do it anytime, although you should finish the modules first. It's a written final examination, but it's really really accounts for adds up to just a few paragraphs of work, maybe 6 or 7 paragraphs of work, and then you have a relatively short paper to write. This media review paper. I'll go over that more in a moment as well. The Blackboard responses really is the modules for the course. I think there's 12, if I'm remembering. We'll see in just a second, for the course on Blackboard. Each one of them is on a topic. So it might be, issues of gender and sexuality in Native communities, for instance. And then if you click on that module, there's usually some sort of a video to watch. Most of the time it's going to be a lecture from me. Other times it might be a movie or something. And then there's some kind of a response that you'll be required to do in almost all of them. And so that usually means a sort of forum response. I'll show you what these look like when we get to the Blackboard, when we look through Blackboard in a minute. The course schedule is, of course, something I should talk about for a second. I don't have due dates on any of the assignments in this course. The entire course is essentially due when the course ends. So you'll see everything says that it's due Sunday, August 16th at midnight. The course closes on Monday the 17th. So essentially, I've asked you to get everything in by the day before when the course closes, and that gives me a little bit of time to grade it all and go through it all. But that's it. That's when the modules are due. That's when the final exam is due. That's when the paper is due. And then I'll spend the next few days after that getting all the grades done and submitting. And obviously, if people hand in things throughout the course, I will usually grade them earlier if I get a chance to, because then I don't have to do it all at once at the end. But that's how due dates for this class work. That does 2 things. It gives you a lot of flexibility for an online course in the summer. Students usually want that. But it also puts a lot of responsibility on you to manage your time well. So I would not suggest waiting until August 14th to try and do the whole course. You, I guess, theoretically could do that, but that would be a really bad idea. Each module is designed to take 2 to 3 hours to complete. So there's 12 of them. So multiply 12 by 3, and you can see how trying to do everything in the last couple of days is going to be really, really, really difficult. That's why I would suggest start working on it now. Do a little bit every day if you can, or whatever works best for you. But you do have to manage your time a little bit. So in terms of the course schedule, there really is no schedule. These are just a description of each of the modules that's on Blackboard, which I'm going to show you in just a second. So we don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Again, the due dates are restated here at the bottom. So if I close this and I come here, this is our Blackboard page. So you'll know that these videos are going to appear right here once I record them and upload them under this Introductions tab, which is where the Blackboard starts. You'll note here there's this Introductions forum. Do this ASAP or you risk being dropped from the course. That is true. Please do this right away. Do it today if you can. It literally is just, you click on it and there's a form. I got to clear this out from the previous semester. There's some previous students have theirs things here, so those will be cleared out hopefully by the time you get here. But it's just a place for you to essentially, I'll have a little question here, and the question says, tell us a little bit about yourself. What year and major are you? Why did you take this course? This is just a place for you to sort of say, hey, here's who I am. I can see a little bit about who you are. Your classmates can see who you are, who you're going to be interacting with throughout the semester. But very importantly, this also serves as your attendance for the course. I am required in a few days, usually it's like they haven't sent us the email yet, but it's usually about the end of the first week, to submit a thing that says every student has attended. And this is the best way that I've come up with to tell what you have, quote unquote, attended an online course. It's a little bit weird in an online course. But the university requires this. It's based on federal law. It's not even the university's requirement, really. It's a federal requirement. And if you don't do this, if I end up reporting you as being absent from the course, having you have never attended it, then the university will essentially remove you from the course, and then you have to get re-added afterwards, and it's a pain. You don't want to be in that situation if you don't have to. So try and do this right away. Best thing to do is do this in the first couple of days. It'll take you 30 seconds, and that would be a big help to me. So that's your first assignment, if you will, and that counts as completing this counts equal to all your later forum responses. So you do get credit for doing this. So you can see here, there's the introductions forum. These videos will be here. The course materials tab has information about the syllabus and the media review assignment I'm going to come back to in a moment. And then after that, you'll see the modules laid out. So for instance, module 1. Let's actually go to module 2 because module 1 does not have its own discussion forum because the introduction forum kind of counts for the first one. So this is a better case study. Module 2, American Indians in the Popular Lens. In this case, I have you watching film. This is not a lecture for me, but actually a film. One of the couple times in the course you'll be asked to do that. And then it asks you to do these responses. So after watching the film, participate in the forum discussion, you must make 2 responses, each of no more than 200 words. I'm usually going to give you this like word limit thing here. Oh, don't do more than 150 words, 200 words. That's just me reminding you, you do not have to write a 5-page paper response to these things. But I also don't want you to write one sentence, right? So these responses should be a paragraph or 2-ish, is pretty typical. That's sort of what we're looking for here. And then if you click on this, you'll see there are 3 questions in this particular module. Question 1, you click on that again, you'll see here's the question, and you would just reply to this with your answer. When you reply with an answer to one of these forum questions, you can reply directly to the question. You can reply to another student's answer, so you can sort of participate almost in like a little back and forth discussion if you want. That's fine too, however you want to do it, but in some way I want you to be participating in a dialogue with me and with the other students in the course about these questions. And the questions will make sense once you've done the module. So module 3 is playing Indian. Again, we've got a play. This one actually has a little bit more complicated of a module, where these are all part of a lecture. These are short. It's not 4 hours or anything. These are each like 10 minutes or something. But these are me giving you a lecture. You'll see if you click on these, they're going to take you to a YouTube video, an unlisted YouTube video of me doing some kind of, in this case, you can actually see me in person doing a lecture. Most of the time, it's going to be me as a talking head, like you're seeing now. You'll watch those first. And then in this case, I've asked you in the module, there's instructions about how you're going to take a look at some of these articles and then put together your answer. So you make your way through the modules, all 12 of them. There's a prep for the final exam thing here, which again is just me sort of talking about some of the themes of the course. And then the final exam itself, which is a few short essay questions in response. That's really it for Blackboard. It's fairly straightforward. If you run into any technical glitches with Blackboard, let me know right away. Like, oh, hey, there was no question in this discussion forum, or this video didn't work, or it took me to a broken link, or whatever. Email me right away, and I can get it fixed right away. So I'm going to go through and try and make sure everything is working properly. Or if you see like a forum that has like a bunch of weird old answers in it, like that one that I found there, let me know right away, and I can fix that. There's every time I teach a new version of every course, you have to upload all the material again, and things always get a little screwy, and links get broken and things like that. So it's very helpful if people let me know if they run into technical glitches, and I can get them fixed right away. The very last thing to go over are the instructions for the paper. Where are you? Here you are. Which is called the media review assignment. Again, like everything, it's due essentially on the last day of the class. So there's instructions here, but let me talk about what I mean by this. The media review assignment is going to ask you to pick a piece of media. That's a really huge, broad term, right? What's a piece of media? It could be typical things people pick. A newspaper article, an advertisement, a historical painting or photograph, a movie, part of a movie, a scene from a movie, a stand-up comedy sketch. I don't know. It can be anything. A piece of media is some kind of publicly consumed representation of Native people, or it can be a self-representative, so it could be an Indigenous person representing themselves in some way, or it can be about Indigenous people, so non-Indigenous people writing about or portraying Indigenous people in some way, however you really want to come at it. But you want to pick something that relates to the course. So some kind of media representation of Native people or self-representation, but that has to do with one of the topics discussed in the course. Maybe it's gender, maybe it's race, maybe it's sovereignty issues, maybe it's religious issues, whatever. Go through the modules, take a look, something you're kind of interested in, something that gets you interested. Pick that if you can. And then I want you to write a paper about it. So you'll show me what the media is. I want give me some kind of either if it's an image, show me the image, or give me a link to the newspaper article or whatever, or a link to the YouTube video, whatever, so that I can see the piece of media. And then I want you to write about it. And this gives you a pretty detailed description of exactly what I'd like you to write about. So introduce it and conclude it. But then in the middle, I want you to place that piece of media in historical and political context, meaning when was this piece of media created? Is it from the 1850s? Is it from the 1950s? Is it from last week? No matter what, it needs to be placed into that context, that historical context and the political context of that time. So that's really important. Why it's relevant to that particular moment in time. And then I want you to talk about its significance and influence. So why is this a meaningful piece of media? Where did it come from? Is it part of a history of images like that, or events like that? If you've got a newspaper article that's talking about a particular event or a controversial event. And then its influence. Did that piece of media shape perspectives or perceptions of Native people as a part of a broader movement to shape perspectives about Native people, either from an insider or an outsider perspective, in a negative way or a positive way? That's the kind of thing I want you to get into with this, right? So, you are expected here. I would like you to have some outside resources here. So you'll have a works cited, and the works cited should not just be your piece of media. It should also have some literature review, some historical and political context. You're gonna have to do a little bit of research about to do that, right? So if it's an image from the 1870s, I'll expect you to have done some research to understand what was going on in the 1870s. Why do we care about this piece of media in the 1870s? Same might be true for the significance and influence. If you're going to place that into a historical process in which this is a meaningful piece of media, that might take some outside research. So you should have a works cited, and it should include more than just your piece of media. It should have a few or more other pieces of media to help you make pieces of scholarship to make your point. Okay. Let's see. Anything else that I want to say? I think that is everything. So please keep an eye on Blackboard. Pretty much everything will be up today, but I will go through and check everything and tweak things and fix things maybe over the next 24 hours. If you run into technical glitches, please let me know so I can get them fixed. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email and I will be happy to help you out and answer any questions. Thanks. I'm looking forward to getting to know you at least digitally over the next few weeks.